Well, we finally got some NHL 19 news with that trailer and some blogs and stuff. So instead of wasting your time trying to scour the internet, why don't you let me do it? Here's everything you need to know so far about NHL 19. I'm No Sleeves 12. Hey guys, thanks for all the shoutouts and follows so far. If you're looking to support me, be sure to follow my channel and hit my video with a like. Follow me on YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, and Facebook. Links are all down below. If you're looking to create content, I also started a new podcast detailing all the struggles and things that you should look for when starting your own YouTube channel or Twitch stream. Thanks for watching. So first, let's start with the trailer. I'm not going to do what everyone else has done and what you've probably already seen, which is basically just replay the trailer and break down what is in it. Detailed in the trailer, we got a small glimpse of the game. Basically, we got 3-player outdoor rink pond hockey, essentially called NHL 1s. This is basically a small representation of the new world of Chel mode and character customization that's going to be in NHL 19. Comes with clothes and different customization options as far as clothing goes for the world of Chel, and I'm going to get into that a little bit later on. But basically, we got pond hockey. We got a glimpse that Gretzky will be in the game. I personally have been waiting for this for a long time. Again, best player ever to play needs to be in the game. We also got a release date, September 14th, 2018. If you do pre-order, I believe the limited edition and the legend edition, again, I'll discuss those a little bit later on, you will get it 3 days early, September 11th. We also got mentioned that there's 200 legends in the game, as well as PK Subban being the cover athlete on the standard legend editions. The ultimate edition has Wayne Gretzky on it. Before we go any further, because I'm going to get like a million comments and I didn't even realize it until my buddy said it during one of my streams, this is not from me smashing the wall after a loss or goal or something. This is my wife's parents' place that I'm staying at, and yeah, like, I don't know who decided that this was a good look, but let's come up with a name for it, shall we? So in the comments, let me know what you think I should call this rage hole wall. So we'll name it after somebody, alright? Alright, here's what I want to discuss early, because the NHL community loves to be pessimistic and insanely negative, and for the most part, they have a reason to be. The last few iterations of the game have been kind of a letdown, with 18 culminating in probably the most negative response in NHL that I can remember since being a fan of NHL 94. So here's what I want to get across to you guys. My review this year is going to be a little bit different than last year. I am able to talk to a few game changers and was able to get a little bit more feedback from them. First thing, and the most important, whether it be you see pond hockey and ones and the fact that you can wear pajama pants and you think that's all that they did to the game, you're completely wrong. Here is why you need to have an insane amount of hope for NHL 19. True performance skating is gone. Why is that so important? Well, because it made you play and turn like a boat, and that is what killed so much of this gameplay. After years of improving the animations and adding dekes and whatnot, the fact that the skating was so bad, it completely killed it. And that is why last year when they added all those dekes, they really couldn't be used to their full effectiveness, because you're basically just doing a deke and the animation fails on you. So why I am insanely excited, at least have a ton of hope for NHL 19, is with real player motion technology. Basically, what apparently is happening is they completely rework skating and the physical engines in the game, meaning that crossovers and acceleration are much more effective and you'll actually skate. You can actually make quick turns and cuts and use edge work to actually increase your speed and get around the ice. Whereas in NHL 18 and 17 and even 16, it was an extremely slow turn. How many of you guys have ever had like a guy that's terrible at skating and you're sprinting in and you literally have to do that half turn that goes all the way halfway around the zone? No more of that. The fact that they've reworked the skating engine at least gives me hope that the gameplay is going to be insanely better, and you guys need to be stoked about that. Along with the new skating engine came a new physical engine when it comes to hitting and actual collisions. Like I said, I scoured every single article I could for this, and one of the game changers had mentioned in the NHL forums that He completely forgot about dekes when he was playing ones because he had so much fun running into and smashing people because the hits actually felt effective. Whether that's, actually true and, will actually be enjoyable because collisions in 18 were really lame. At least there's some sort of excitement around it, but skating is the real win here. The fact that they reworked the skating engine is an insane win for us because at least we get a chance of 19 being a ton different than NHL 18 and 17. So now we already know that the skating is going to be completely adjusted, meaning that Versus and Hut, for the most part, will be completely different, hopefully. Again, you're allowed to be pessimistic, just don't be insanely negative, because if these are the changes that are actually happening in the game at launch, be stoked. Let's discuss sixes. I'm a big sixes player. I love sixes. This looks to be a great balance of what we've clamored for the last little while, where we wanted custom builds back, where we could have attributes and things like that, but it couldn't be where you could get Legend 3 and a 99 overall, because that would just completely facilitate people that grind the game and have more time when others can't. So I understand that you can't just do that again because I think that's broken. What they've done is added in specialization. So when you create a player, we're going to get into what World of Chel is, but when you create your player, and you can, I need to mention that you can save your builds. You can have multiple builds for whether you're playing 1s, 3s, 6s. You can have multiple builds. You get to choose your player class, so you still get to pick Sniper, Grinder, Enforcer, Dangler, two-way forward, power forward, all of those. But then what you do is you pick a specialization. What do you want to specialize in? Here's a hot take. I'm going to guess everyone specializes in speed. I think that there's going to be a meta, and apparently there's a lot of min-maxing. So there's going to be a lot of testing around to find what the best is, and there will be a best, but for the most part, at least you get to decide and choose. You get to choose a primary specialization, which, again, let's for the most part think it's going to be speed. After you pick your first your specialization, that is what your primary focus will be when it comes to your attributes and how you allot them, or at least how they're performed. There isn't really confirmation on if you get attributes like a physical number, or if you get, okay, I want to dedicate it to speed, so you get 880 speed. Then you get a secondary specialization, which is about half of the primary. Okay, this is where it's cool because you can mix and match. So whether it be shooting, deking, passing, you can then combine. So you can come up with a whole bunch of different, crazy mixtures. So you could have like, defensive defenseman that specializes in speed, and then his secondary is shooting, and you might essentially have like a perfect defenseman. So it's going to be interesting to see how that works, but for the most part that is sick because at least you get to customize your class build, and it's not just the lame, okay, defensive defensemen can't be used because they're they're completely slow and just suck when it comes to sixes. So that's dynamite. Height and weight will be a factor. It's not really confirmed yet, but every class has a height and weight like it does now. So as defenseman, that's 6'4", is obviously the biggest and kind of bulkiest. Whereas like an offensive defenseman's like 5'8". I believe that you're able to decide in a range of what you can be. So again, there's going to be a lot of min-maxing to try and decide what you want to use, which is awesome because at least it gives you some differentiating, tactics when it comes to what you're playing. Okay, so that's for sixes. Now, what I do want to mention. So again, I have access to some game changers. All right, I was able to discuss with one when it comes to sixes. The amazing thing that is coming to this game in NHL 19, and again, I think this is a great addition. With RPM, when you actually do a one-on-one deke, like the NHL 18 introduced, all of the sick dekes, the Forsbergs, the Datsyuks, all of that stuff. In NHL 18, because of true performance skating, you couldn't use them unless you use them against a goalie. Like, you couldn't do the one arm around, like, you would lose too much momentum. So unless it's a perfect scenario, you wouldn't pull it off. Because of momentum, not because you did the move at the wrong time. For the most part, you could do it at the right time and it still wouldn't matter. In NHL 19, because of RPM, the one-on-one deking animations will allow you to walk, guys, which is sick. You don't lose as much momentum, and you're actually able to perform these dekes and get around guys. So the one-on-one dekes, the L1, the stick crossover, all that kind of stuff, looks like it actually will affect and allow you to get around players, which means that we are going to have a skill gap, a giant one, which is awesome. I think that is what this game is missing. So many people during the World Gaming Championships complained that they just watched the CPU. It's the same stuff over and over again. For the most part, I agree. But in this game, because of the new skating engine, I believe that there's actually going to create a skill gap, because the guys that can do these moves, you're not going to be hindered by the skating motions. You're actually going to be able to use them correctly. So again, guys, be stoked. Also coming in 6s are traits. So with your created player, your World of Chel player, and guy that you will use in 6s, you'll get these traits that some will come unlocked at the beginning and some will unlock quickly as you progress in rank. There's XP, so you're still leveling up. But it does not mean that the higher level you are, the better you are. That's not what it is. Now, some of these traits are really specific, like you score a goal late, your team will get a big boost of energy. Those kinds of things. They're kind of specific, but at least I think that again, because of all the min-maxing, you can actually create a really cool team loadout that can kind of feed off each other if you use some of these specializations correctly. If you don't score a lot of goals, don't use the ones that count towards goals, right? Every time you level up with your character in the World of Chel, you're going to earn a hockey bag, and that's going to get you a cosmetic item that you can use for your World of Chel character. I need to mention that the pond hockey pajamas and jackets and all that kind of stuff you unlock is only for the pond modes, okay? You can't use the circus gear in 6s, in an actual 6v6. Those will all be pro, like, you know, your jerseys, everything like that. One of the biggest things that I was stunned about, none of this is monetized, meaning that you do not pay for these items. They are grind worthy, meaning that if you really want that cool NHL 94 stick for your pond hockey game or for your pond hockey loadout, all by drops. You don't get any of it by buying it. I think that's fantastic and a great move by EA. Even though it is small, I think that is a fantastic step forward. Don't pay for any of the customization things. So now let's discuss the new game modes and what the World of Chel is, alright? So the World of Chel is a uniformed character, meaning that you have one character, or loadouts, many, that you use across all EA Sports Hockey League game modes, meaning the new mode 1s, drop-ins, 3s, 6s, all of that. You have one character that you can, you know, change and customize in many different ways, and how they play, what they look like, all that kind of stuff. What they've done is there's over 900 all new items for the pond modes. Okay, so like I said, so any of the outdoor modes, 3s, drop-ins, and the Pro-Am, you can use all that gear you unlock with the hockey bags by leveling up. So you can get like that parka and the jeans and the pajamas and that really super rare NHL 94 stick. I haven't seen a picture of it, but I'm assuming that's what a lot of people will grind for. So for ones, which I think every year there's a new gimmick, essentially. Last year they brought back 3s, which was basically that arcade mode that I think was in NHL 14 or 13. That was sick. I enjoyed it, but like, it was a gimmick mode. NHL, anyone who plays NHL not just with their buddies, it got boring quick. I played 3s in the beta, and I maybe played it once or twice outside of that. Other than just the, you know, the gimmick stuff, you never really touch it because there's not really any competitiveness to it. Ones, I think, is different. Let me explain why I am excited for ones. So with NHL 18, the one good thing that came with NHL 18, defensive skill stick, I think that is fantastic, and I'm glad that it's there. I think that you should be able to control where your stick goes. I think that's fantastic. As well as the deeks. The creative deeks are nuts. With the new skating system, you can actually take advantage of them. And what better place to hone your skills than against two other guys where there's no stoppages, no penalties, just complete mayhem in half a rink. Not to mention the actual scenery might look cool because it's not just an arena. I'm really excited for ones. I think that this might actually be really fun. The cool thing about ones is as you rank up, because there is a ranking system to it, you move on to the next rink, and if you unlock a few outdoor rinks until finally you get inside like a resort one on top of a mountain. They emulate real ones around the world, which I think is cool. Unlocking gear and things all along the way. Really excited for this game mode because I think that what people don't understand is that when you can find a game mode that's kind of fun, where you get to mess around making your own game better, meaning that a lot of players didn't use deeks, one, because they were kind of pointless, but because they were really difficult to pull off. If you have a game mode where you're forced to just mess around, I think that's sick, and I'm going to spend a lot of time mastering deeks and things like that in ones because it's just a perfect opportunity to do so. I do need to mention it's 1v1v1. so far from everything I've heard, always going to be an AI goalie. I think that it'd be super cool to have like one buddy just lace up the skates and net and just make constant pack stat Dominic Hasek saves, but I don't think that's gonna happen. The physics in it apparently are awesome, meaning that if you block you're in pants and a parka or a sweater, if you get a slap shot in the chest, apparently you wipe out. Like, the physics are actually somewhat realistic. I mean, you probably break a rib and stuff, but you actually get knocked down. And apparently the corner of doom, where at center ice, where it hits the 90 degrees because half the ice is cut off, is apparently hilarious watching someone get crushed into it. So I think this game mode might actually have some fun, especially for bragging rights when you three can just go out and rip a bunch of moves. I think that this is a cool way to integrate a new game mode and make it somewhat interesting. Something that wasn't mentioned in any of the trailers or things like that is that a beta. A lot of people are asking if there's going to be one. According to the few game changes, there will be. They haven't heard that there isn't. It just isn't announced as early as it was last year, so a beta probably will be coming. So again, that'll be dope. Some other small stuff that was announced on Twitter is that Doc and Eddie are back. While the commentary hasn't been amazing, it's way better than starting over with a new pair, because at least there's already dialogue done, because the first iteration of new guys usually has limited dialogue because they have so much to do. Hopefully it's a little bit better this year because it is their third or fourth year. Goalies, I guess, are reworked to cut down bad angle goals. That's super vague, but if that's in sixes and CPU like Versus and Hut, I'm stoked for that, because that means if we see less of those short side wristers or shots that have no real chance to go in real life, that's fantastic. But again, that's super vague, so like I don't want to get super excited about that, right? As well as the new 5-man cellies. Saw one with the big hug, small edition, but love it. Let's show some love to the offline guys. Something that every one of us has been hoping for about a reworked scouting system. I'm going to read the Polygon article and the clip from it because this is dynamite. The other main change to NHL 19 comes in this series' franchise mode, which EA Vancouver upgraded last year with expansion teams. Side note, expansion teams are fantastic. It was a great addition, and I thought the game mode went really well with how you did the expansion draft and whatnot. Anyways, this time around, the studio is focused on the mode scouting setup, which fans have long criticized as too simplistic. Thank God. In NHL 19, you'll have a separate scouting budget, and you will have to hire and fire scouts with an eye on their regional specializations. For instance, one may be an expert in Russia and Scandinavia, but may have a mediocre awareness of players elsewhere. Scouts will return detailed reports with graded attributes and text descriptions, and there's a fog of war element. Any player to whom you don't assign a scout will be blind spots, with no hints of their abilities. And if you draft someone you haven't scouted, you won't see their ratings until they play a few games somewhere in your organization. It's deep enough to be a standalone product, said Ho of the new scouting system. So guys like Tugi, here you go, bud. This is going to be awesome. I'm super excited to finally play some offline again, because if you play Madden or the show, you just can't play NHL franchise mode as much as you can those modes because they're so much better. So the fact that scouting's all fixed, let's go, boys. Big win. Big win. So now let's talk bonuses and what you get with each game. I'm going to read them verbatim here, okay? So the NHL 19 Ultimate Package. This is the most expensive, probably be $120, I believe. I just downloaded it. I believe it's $120. This is the Gretzky edition, okay? You get the game. You get 3 days early access. You get 40 Hut packs. They come in 2 pair. You get 2 every week for 20 weeks, okay? You get a choice of 1 Hut cover athlete. So one of the last 4 cover athletes. So it's McDavid, Subban, Taves, and Tarasenko. You get the choice of 1 Hut legend item. The choices are Matt Sundin, sick. Peter Forsberg, sick. Mark Messier, I mean, he's in the game. He's been in the game recently. That's okay. Guy Lafleur, Brett Hull, and Marcel Dion. So I'm Peter Forsberg, boys. Let's have it. You get the choice of one of them. You get 1 Hut rookie item. This is like that Young Stars one that we had last year. I picked Tom. Every team had one young player we got to choose from. I picked Thomas Hertl. Go Sharks. So you get to pick one from each of the 31 teams. You get to pick one of them. So you get 1 out of 31. You get an unlocked hockey bag, customization items for your World of Chel player. So you get an extra bag of customization gear when you buy the Ultimate Edition. NHL Legend Edition is exactly the same as the Ultimate, but instead of getting 2 packs a week for 20 weeks, you get 1 pack a week for 20 weeks. This Standard Edition comes with the game and 5 hut packs, 1 per week for the first 5 weeks. So you miss out on all those, you know, the cover athlete and the legend item. But I mean, if I'm being real with you, all of those players were replaced last season, I think, after about 3 weeks in. So like the McDavid card we got and that young rookie item we got, they weren't in your lineup after about 3 weeks. So if you don't want to use the extra money to have the head start, don't. If Hut isn't your main draw in NHL, just get the Standard Edition. I'm gonna get the Ultimate because I live for it, but yeah, it's you're not gaining it much outside of Hut. So guys, if you're still with me, thanks for watching. That was everything that I could come across on NHL forums, Reddit, YouTube videos, my own experience talking to Game Changers. So I hope that this info blast will hold you over until our next wave of information. So guys, again, thanks for watching. I'm NoSleeves12. Make sure to bang the like, leave a comment of your opinion on the game, and hit me up on Twitter and Twitch and all that. Stay sweet, guys.